Okay, this video is a little bit of a confession on how writing the second book of my duology almost broke me. Maybe not for real, but maybe I'm being dramatic. But it wasn't easy. When I self-published my first book, The Healer, I had no idea what to do, period. No idea whatsoever. I was just going with the flow. I just started writing again. It was just fun. What it comes after, the editing process, the marketing process, everything, it's more mechanic, while writing is way more creative. The thing is that when I published The Healer, I hadn't written the second book yet. I had no idea what was going to happen. I just knew that I wanted a spoiler, happy ending, and that was it. Even though now generally I know where the books are going, that was one of the first books that I wrote. It was the first duology that I was publishing. In hindsight, I now understand that before publishing a duology, it's better for me personally to write the entire two books. If I have things to tweak because I'm a pantser, I can go back and tweak them. And I don't have to try to think of the weirdest thing to fix plot holes. What is The Healer about? If you haven't seen the previous videos in which I basically spent an entire day editing it, I finally finished. The Healer is a new adult romantasy based in the world of Mivaria, which has very different nationalities and continents. It starts in Velula, which is the land of benders, elemental magic. If you loved Avatar The Last Airbender or Avatar The Legend of Korra, you will know the type of magic we are talking about. The journey continues to the Druterra, which is the land of the fire. The story starts with Selene. She is the healer. She uses a unique technique that mixes water and darkness. She's the only one in Velula that can do it because she is the reincarnation of Althea. She's a spirit 400 years old, and she appears just to Selene to guide her in her life. And Althea was the only one in Velula to ever be able to control water and darkness. And when the news from the High Lord of Ruterra that they are searching for a healer to help his wife comes to Velula, to the council, they have to make a decision with the sand. To Selene, since she's the best, it's basic for her to go. But they decide for Chandra, which is her enemy, and they decide to send her. But Selene, she's not the kind of person that sit and wait. She has been waiting her entire life. She's an orphan, she has no family, she has no bounds to Velula, and she always feels this need to travel, to see more, to find something that she can quite name it. With the help of Althea and her two shadows, Fi and Pari, she decided to embark on this journey and travel to Ruterra. This is the start of the entire book, in which she meets Killian, which is our love interest. It's slightly enemies to lover. This book is multi-POV. It doesn't have just Selene and Killian's POV. It has Chandra and Calder's POV too. When I finished the book, I knew the first book where I wanted to finish it, and I knew the second book where I wanted to go, but my entire brain kind of forgot it. Writing it was impossible. I even wrote another duology, which is The Pirate Witch and the Fallen Serpent, which is the Circean duology that you can find on Amazon because it's completely published. Because with that duology, I learned that for me, it's better to write the entire duology and then publish the first one and then publish the second one. Lesson learned. The thing is that the hybrid, which is the second book in the Healer duology, is not published yet. I'm starting now to edit it because yes, I managed to finish it, but it was a first draft and I wasn't actually too happy about it. And now, after taking like a year off since I made the decision to publish the hybrid on October 1st, I'm gonna go through edits, and it's gonna be a very intense journey because I added more POV, and I'm afraid that maybe a duology is too short for it. Maybe I should write a third book, but I don't think I'm capable of doing it. I think the story could wrap up as it is. I'm pretty happy how it finished. There are some parts in the middle that I need to fix, so it's gonna take some time. But what happened is that this book, The Healer, came out on March 2023. We are now at July 2025, and the second book is not out yet. And for me, it's such a freaking pressure because I'm letting down my readers. I'm letting down who believed in me, who helped me promote the healer. One of the quotes that I keep repeating myself and that I read tons of other indie authors repeating is trust the process, keep going, don't stop. Being an indie author is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So that's what I'm constantly repeating myself, because I know that some point my time will come in which my readers will find me and they love my writing style, my stories. The thing is that I am a very, in general, multi-potentialite person, which means that I love doing different things. One thing that I love is traveling, and in my books, characters are traveling. I publish 3 romantasy, and those 3 romantasy, they're all traveling all the time. The hybrid, they are traveling too. War Weapon, which is a standalone spin-off of The Healer that's coming out in December, it doesn't have travel that much, but it's moved across places. And then next year, I'm going to publish 2 travel romances, I think I'm going to call them. It's like sports romances, but like with a lot of travel. And I like the idea of like discovering new places through reading too. I feel that if I find the people who love to travel, I think they will be my readers. But going back to how books you destroyed my self-esteem for a bit, is that yeah, I couldn't write it. It took me forever to write this book. What my writer's block about the hybrid was is that I couldn't open the document. I couldn't force myself to write. I wrote another duology before going back to the hybrid, before forcing myself to go back and write what I was supposed to write. And it was like a mix of things, of fear of not being able to plot together everything, like to fix the plot holes, fear of not being perfect as my readers wanted it. I thought it wasn't good as the healer, so it was like a lot of thoughts in my head that came through and like pushed me into avoiding the hybrid for so long. And it's crazy because I love writing. I'm a really creative person. I'm a really fast typer and writer. And if I have an idea, I can write a book in 2-3 weeks. I just finished one. What I stopped doing with the hybrid was actually looking at the document, which is crazy and horrible because, yeah, I feel this guilt of not being able to offer my readers what they truly wanted and needed. And I think that there's a quote that I read that says, sometimes writer's block isn't about the writing, it's about the fear of ruining something you love. And I was so scared of ruining The Healer because I didn't know where I was going with the hybrid, which led me to actually write War Weapon. I actually forgot War Weapon was another like coping mechanism to process the hybrid through writing War Weapon, which is the story of the ancestors of Selene. And that truly helped me set the lore of the story. I knew more about the characters, and that truly helped me going on with the hybrid. So sometimes what I understood from this journey is that maybe pausing a detour, writing something else, can help you go back and write what you were supposed to write. And maybe you're gonna write it better. What I love about it, the creative process, is that everyone has a different one. People who teach how to be creative, how the creative process works, they help. But I feel that as the more you write, the more you make art, the more you understand how you can deal with it. That I feel is the best process that you can learn. Like learning from yourself and what you need, what your mind needs. When I hit a writer's block, I don't force it. I learned just to pause, let myself watch a lot of reality shows or anime, read a lot of books, write another topic. I learned that pressuring myself in doing something is not helpful. Maybe this advice could help you. If I can give an advice about all of this, is that firstly, you're allowed to write badly, and that first drafts are terrible, because I was so scared of my first draft that I kept pushing away the thought of even writing it. Give yourself time and space to understand what's going on, to analyze yourself. I use journaling and tarot to help me understand that, and I feel it's a good way to process, to untangle your thoughts. Just be grateful with yourself for how creative you are. Don't flag yourself if, for example, you can't actually write something. Just do it and just wait. Let's wait, pause, reflect, and don't pressure yourself. I feel society pressures ourselves so much. Creativity, art are such amazing things that can be pushed and pressured. Yeah, I know the pressures makes diamonds, but yeah, I don't actually truly believe in that sentence. Book 2 is in the making. The hybrid is coming out on October 1st. I set the deadline because I work better with that. This week I'm going to start to work on the first chapters, and I know it's going to be a wild ride, but I don't want to go back to how I felt at the beginning of the hybrid. I want to keep maintaining the awareness that I've built along the years. Who am I as an author and as a writer? I've been writing since I was a kid. I published my first book with an Italian imprint in 2022, and then decided to self-publish in 2023. That's what I learned, to just accept the moments that life is a roller coaster and that you pressuring yourself is doing absolutely not good. And maybe you have to improve your writing process. You do that just by keep writing. I hope this messy talking video help you somehow, give you some insights. See you next week.